Let's talk about DHCP, or Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw a simple topology. Here's our PC, and I will also add a switch. And connecting to our DHCP server. So this is DHCP server, and this listen to service or port UDP. Not only just one port, but two of them. So both are UDP port 67, and the other one is port 68. Now, what's the difference? Well, the 67 is more on the client side, and the 68 is more on, excuse me, the 67 is more on the server side, and the 68 is more on the client side. There you go. Now, here's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna talk about the four message that the client and the server sent using DHCP protocols. Now, the first one is what we call the DHCP Discover, and this is sent by the client. So this is called DHCP Discover message, and this is broadcast. Okay, I'm gonna add here broadcast using option 67. Yes, because this is to the server side. Now, the DHCP Discover message, this is when the client, like saying, hey, I'm looking for the DHCP server. Please give me an IP address. Now, since this is broadcast, this is sent out to all active interfaces with the help of the switch. Now, if it reaches the the DHCP server will respond back. And this is unicast. This is what we call the DHCP offer message. So from DHCP server, let's do that again. From DHCP server, it will send a unicast message back to the client. Again, this is what we call the DHCP offer message. This is a unicast, and it's using UDP port 68 because this is on the client side. Now, when the client receives this unicast DHCP offer message, it will send another message. This is what we call the DHCP request message. DHCP request. Now, the DHCP request message is just simply telling the server that, okay, let me have that IP address. And I just want to highlight that this is also broadcast, and it's using port 67 because this is to the server side. Now, once the DHCP server receives this DHCP request, it will just then acknowledge and send what we call the DHCP Acknowledge message. DHCP Acknowledge message. Like DHCP Offer, this is also a unicast using port number 68. Now, what will happen is the server is not just giving an IP address to the client. It will give other information as well. So the client here will get obviously an IP address. Let's say 10.0.0.101. Now, this is the same IP address that is received by the client in the DHCP offer. So let me highlight that there was an IP address that offered to the client. Okay, same IP address 10.0.0.101. Also, I forgot to mention this. There is a very important configuration that you need to do. On the client side, the interface connecting to this network requires a configuration. And what is this configuration? Well, this configuration is what we called enabling DHCP client interface. And in Windows is something like obtain IP address automatically. Okay, so this is the option. In Linux, it's just DHCP Client. All right, anyway, so let's continue. So the client will receive not just an IP address, it will also receive other IP address or network information related, such as subnet. Okay, and we're gonna give this client a subnet value of 255.255.255.0. What else? It will also receive sometimes, well, in this example, we're gonna give default gateway. And the default gateway IP address will be 10.0.0.254. What else? This client also receive a DNS IP address, and we'll give the DNS IP address the same default gateway IP address, which is 10.0.0.254. There you go. Now maybe you're thinking, if the client received this information, what are the information that is updated on the server side? Is there any? Yes, there is. All right, so before we look onto that information, we need to add a MAC address of our client. Okay, so let's just say our client has a MAC address of 00AA00000001. So this is the MAC address of our client. Now, what will happen is the DHCP server will update its DHCP binding table. And what do you say? What do you mean DHCP binding table? Well, DHCP binding table, this is a table of DHCP server where it adds an entry, and this entry is the information of the client where it provided IP addresses. In this case, we have 10.0.0.101 and other network information. This is sent to a client with a MAC address of 00AA00000001. Okay, this is the first entry of this DHCP server binding table.